Hey, what's up everyone? Kurt Singh here with a Great League battle video. As I stated in yesterday's video, I made a different team. This one's a little bit more grounded, or not grounded, well-rounded than yesterday's. So you can see here I switched into Superior into their Feraligatr. I was running into a lot of Feraligatrs or Mudboys, uh, even some grass types. They were pretty hard countering that other team as you played it more and stuff. So I found that this one worked really good. I've played Superior quite a bit. I've played Dugong a fair amount, and I've always kind of liked uh, uh, Diggersby, but never like it's kind of hard to find a team to go well with it. Not hard, just don't mind me rambling about everything here. So anyways, take the Hydro Cannon, and you can see you live a Hydro Cannon quite easily. Gonna shield up this one, is it would just take me out. Can't farm down, so I'm gonna go for the Scorching Sands here. If you guys can make it through a little bit of the video here, you're gonna see a lot of Hyper Beams just demolishing people. This one here, I'm gonna get to a Hyper Beam. I'm gonna throw it, and it does like half health on a super tanky Mandibuzz. So just imagine some of your other Pokemon that you're gonna face that aren't as tanky as a Mandibuzz and how hard it hits. It is amazing. It's a lot of fun. I love people not anticipating that you have a Hyper Beam or that hard of a hitting move and just smacking them in the face. So here Dugong does really good against your poison types, ground types, flyers, grass, stuff like that. Diggersby is really solid against steel. For an example, I do lose one against what is it? You'll see it later. It's the last set. I'm blanking on the name of it. Ferrothorn. So anyways, Dark Pulse there comes in, and Dugong doesn't really care, but I'm gonna throw the Icy Wind here. This will take out the Mandibuzz with quite a bit of ease. And that's good first game. If you made it through all that crazy rambling on the first one, I'll try to get dialed in here. Okay. Diggersby into Clogsfire. They switch into Feraligatr. I answer with Superior. Great. I got a good lead, and then I have a good swap. I do. How did this play out here? I did 4-1, 4-1, and then like another 4-1 or something like that. But in this video, there's two 4-1 sets. I shield almost every first move on these Feraligatrs because I'm like, they could have Ice Beam. And it was like, Hydro Cannon. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to shield. Ice Beam. So I was like, ah. But anyways, let's see here. This will be Ice Beam because they know that I'm out of shields. Yeah, Ice Beam. Done. And then bring in the Diggersby again, able to get a farm down. And then in the back, they've got a Azumarill, and I'm like, oh no. They got rid of my grass type. This isn't good. Hyper Beam, no shield. Super tanky Azumarill, half health. Like, Hyper Beam really helps when you're in a situation where like that you lose your grass type, you got water, Hyper Beam, right? So now Dugong into Clodsquire, and Icy Wind does a huge chunk built up with the Ice Arts as well. Makes us super manageable. The Stone Edge is going to do super effective damage, but you can see with a debuff, can take two pretty much, right? I think I would actually live two, but I do get to the Icy Wind first. Do not quite take them out, but 2 stage attack drop live that easy. And now they bring in Azumarill again. I'm not able, I was hoping to get it to an Icy Wind just to make their attacks a little bit less. But the Ice Beam me, takes me out, and I should, what do I do here? Unless I have Hydro Pump, they're not going to take me out with an Ice Beam. So now they should be dry on energy, so I'm like, you know what? I should be able to make the Hyper Beam here. And I do make the Hyper Beam. And this is going to take them out from that health quite easily. Another good game to my opponent there, a little bit closer. Diggersby into Superior. So this is a lost lead for me. However, most Diggersby have Fire Punch, which would be super effective. So my goal here is that I'm going to build up, and I'm going to take this, or I'm going to shield this first Frenzy Plant. So shield that, and I'm building up, building up, building up. They're going to assume that I have Fire Punch. I should have thrown Scorching Sands, I believe, to in case they shield, because I was like, you know what? They're going to assume I have Fire Punch. They're going to shield. They don't shield, and massive damage. And again, Superior is super tanky. So, like, really good. And then they shield the Frenzy, and I'm able to just get to another Frenzy as the Incinerate's coming through. That's huge because this will do a decent amount of damage. It actually does a huge chunk for not being effective. Like, it's a Grass Against the Fire. It should do very little, right? Able to bring in Diggersby, and they're not debuffed at all. So my Blast Burn would do a big chunk. So I am going to shield that up. They're at back-to-backs. So they throw that one, does a huge chunk of damage. But they switch into Superior, and instead of letting them farm me down, I switch into Dugong and get that farm down. And then they bring in Typhlosion again. 2 Ice Shards takes them out. And I believe I didn't even have to register that second Incinerate's damage. So I'm at an Icy Wind here, which is really, really good because I'm out of shields, and that's going to do a decent chunk of damage and drop their attack. So as we saw in the last battle, I'm able to live the Stone Edge, and I'll get to another Icy Wind here, and I need to throw it before they get to the next Stone Edge here, because this will drop their attack again, even if they shield this, which of course they will because they're out of, that's their last Pokemon. And I feel like I kind of messed up here. I should have switched and tried to catch on my Diggersby, but that Stone Edge takes me out. And then as the game was going, I must have known that I was really close to a Scorching Sands, because this will take them out as well with the poison typing. Well, it hits quite hard, so would have taken out from a distance there. So Morpeko into Diggersby, and Scorching Sands will do a lot of damage. Morpeko, I do have one. It is a lot of fun to play. It's not tanky at all. So they bait me with a Psychic Fangs. They switched their form there. So I'm going to go for the Scorching Sands. And gets a shield. Drops their attack. And so I think I'd let this go. I think I've done so many battles already with this particular team. I think that well, these battles are a few days old, so trying to remember exactly what it did. Scorching Sands going in here, gets their next shield. It's another down 2 shields, but I did shield that Psychic Fangs, unfortunately. So I let this go, and it is just another Psychic Fangs. I'm kind of surprised, actually, they didn't. Maybe they don't know how super effective, or like how hard whatever its move is, the Aurora Wheel, actually hits, even against a ground type. Like, it would have easily taken Diggersby out there. So maybe they just don't know that, so they don't want to throw it, because typing, right? Electric into ground, they're like, oh, it's not going to do anything. Okay, so Icy Wind into Greninja there. If nothing else, it just drops their attack, and I can already take a Hydro Cannon or a Night Slash, stuff like that, because the typings. So going for Drill Run here does huge damage, almost takes them out. If I live this move, that Ice Shard, I believe, will KO. And I do not quite live, so they stay alive. Bring in Diggersby, 2 quick attacks down. I got a little bit of energy, and I'm almost out of move here. And I overfarm a little bit. I was kind of trying to see if I could get to that Hyper Beam. I was like, oh, I better just throw. So I throw, drop their attack, and switch into Superior. And if they have Sludge Bomb, which they do, okay. So, and then they switch. I was like, what is going on? So then they switch into Morpeko, and I shield this up. Again, Psychic Fangs. Frustrating. Switch back, but now what happened there is I got quite a bit of farm. So I got this Frenzy going in, and it hits quite hard with the ground typing, even though it's like neutral. That just shows how hard Frenzy hits, right? Bad lead for me. However, Diggersby is so tanky. You can stay in and live these bubbles. If you see my health compared to their health, they're only outpacing me a little tiny bit. And Ice Beam here, gonna do a good chunk. However, if I can get this beam to land, it's gonna, we're matched again, pretty much. They shield, unfortunately. So I was like, oh, okay. Switch into Superior, and there is where I learned after this that if it's a water type, I want to switch in my Dugong so that I'm sort of only soft countering. I do not want to switch in my hard counter because then they just switch out and then I'm screwed in the back, right? Whereas if I switch in my soft counter, then they're kind of like, oh, well, what should we do? We don't really want to stay in and lose this really good counter to the Diggersby. Let's switch out. And then in the back, I've got the hard answer for that Pokemon for them, right? So it works out better in the long run because now I've lost my Superior. Have Dugong in the back, which is good against Drifblim. Icy Wind me, and I shield an Icy Wind. I was a little bit concerned that it was a Mystical Fire or a Shadow Ball, so I was like, oh, I better throw up the shield there. Icy Wind again, and then in the back they've got Malamar. Where am I at? This might be the game that I lose. They catch, of course, yeah. They catch the Scorching Sands back onto Azumarill. They're just mopping the floor with me here. And not the game that I lost, but I did 4-1 and 4-1, so one of the sets that I lost. Or not set, game. Drill Run, and they're at another move here. I do have a shield, so this could end up being a little bit close. However, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, their Malamar has quite a bit of energy, actually. So if they're smart, this will be a foul play. It is a superpower. So now they're debuffed. This is going to debuff them again. But see, not enough damage. And then they've got another... No, yeah, so they had so much damage or so much energy that just takes me out. Good game to my opponent there. Good little 4-1 set. Morpeko as my reward. Get up to 2180. I'm not going to be able to check and let you guys know on this video, but I'm climbing close. I'm almost 23, I think. I'd really like to make a push here in the next week or so to get up at least to Veteran again this season. I really, really want to get to Legend. Have a lot to learn still. I get up like Ace, mid-Ace, and right, that's where I'm kind of hitting the match of where like my range. I have gotten into Veteran twice now, and I feel like I'm a good enough battler to get at least up to Veteran. I'd like to say expert as well. I'm understanding a lot of the game and the moves and stuff like that. It's just the consistency. I'm not consistent with my battles. I'm way too busy and stuff like that. So I'm hopeful that now that I'm off for the winter, that I'll have a lot more time. Hasn't been the case thus far. I've been like chicken with my head chopped off, running around all over the place. But I'm hopeful to get more consistent and get my battles in, and consistency, learning, counting, stuff like that. I'm only going to get better, right? Just like these videos, it took me probably a year or more of wanting to do it before I actually started doing it, because I, for one, didn't really know how to do it. I was nervous about being on camera. I was like, I'm a nobody. Nobody's going to want to watch me. Nobody's going to want to listen to my battles. I'm like, right? Like, I just play the game and enjoy it. So, but I enjoy doing this as well. I enjoy some of the feedback that I get. I like that certain people enjoy some of the comments that I make, and getting corrected on how to say certain Pokemon names and stuff like that. Like I'm always gonna mispronounce some of them. So here, Swampert Sludge Wave almost one-shots me, and I'm able to switch into my Diggersby here and go for the Scorching Sands. It's not going to take out the Whimsicott, so this is getting very close because shields are down. They've got to move here. Seed Bomb, I think, would pretty much one-shot. Almost takes me out. Get to source like last second Scorching Sands, and this is going to win. I was like, they must be just like throw phone across the room kind of thing. Good game there. Well played to my opponent. Was that, I wasn't paying attention enough. There's one that I do that is like back and forth. We're switching, and and then we get to the very last Pokemon, and I'm like, ha. Like nothing they could do. Okay, if you guys are with me still, 17 and a half minutes in, watch this. I take the Flame Charge and I'm building up. I get to the Hyper Beam. Bam! Like, Talonflame done. Yeah, that was Talonflame. Like, that's so much fun. They are not expecting that. It's either Scorching Sands or Fire Punch. Talonflame's not shielding, right? Gone. Dead. Like, see you later. Marowak takes his Scorching Sands. They're into the yellow. No shields. And they've lost their Talonflame. Superior comes in. Super effective against their last two Pokemon with the ground typing. Mamoswine would put up a fight with the Avalanche and Powder Snow, but I think that was Mud. Yeah, they're doing a Mud Slap or something like that. So shield this up, and it's Avalanche shielded up though, and I think they just give up. Yeah, they're like, nothing we can do. Diggersby into Clefable. I think this is another big beam. I probably should have moved these battles earlier, because I'm 99.9% sure nobody is still watching. If you are, leave a comment and let me know that you are still watching this late in the video. Take the Moonblast. That is half health. Hyper Beam time. Are they going to shield? Or are they going to think it's a Fire Punch? Boom! Bye, Clefable. Gone. Like, out of here. See you later. Abomasnow comes in. Gonna go for the Aerial Ace, because they're probably thinking they're gonna catch a Frenzy, but they didn't. Super effective, down to half health. Weather Ball does a decent chunk. Farming up, get to the Aerial Ace here, throw this. This is probably gonna get a shield. They do shield that, and now I can let them take me out. No shields needed. And then I can bring in Superior, or Dugong. Well, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Too busy screaming about hyper beams to the face here. I'm letting this go as well. Weather Ball takes me out. I'm putting it all on Dugong. So why did I do that? Oh, because Superior was gone, so I knew that, yeah, that makes sense. This has a better matchup against Quagsire than Diggersby would. So that's why. Save the shields for Dugong, Icy Wind, debuff them, and Ice Shard, Icy Wind actually is really good against Abomasnow as well because of the grass typing. So it's neutral against the ice and then super effective against the grass. So it actually has a really good matchup. And they didn't shield, realized that the Ice Shards were going to take them out, so they conceded the match. So Diggersby into Blastoise. Horrible lead, once again. Absolutely horrible lead. And they're using Water Gun or whatever their fast move is. So once again, I switch into my Superior, which is the hard answer, which I should not do. And Hydro Cannon comes through, I let that go. And see, then they switch into normal type. 21. I might pull this one out because I'm pretty sure it's the last in each one that I lose. So I shield up that Tri-Attack, go for a Frenzy here. They let that go, and it does half health, so they're for sure going to shield this one, 100%. So they shield that up. Can't quite get to another move here. I'm going to let this go at this point, which is kind of stupid of me, knowing that they've got a Blastoise in the back. But gonna go for a last second Aerial Ace here, try to get that last shield. They let that go though, and I'm not quite able to farm down. Bring back in Diggersby. What was my play here? That I know that they've got Blastoise, but if I can get that to the beam will one-shot. So that's maybe my... I was really trying to get that last shield. Hydro Cannon. I feel like they let this go. Because why would you shield a Scorching Sands or a Fire Punch, right? Boom! Gone. So now they got Clefable in the back, and we all saw that Hyper Beam takes out Clefable, but they know that I have it now. So they're going to shield. So go for the Scorching Sands first, get the shield, switch into Dugong. Yeah, so I am able to pull this one out, I do believe. Most Clefables, if I'm not mistaken, have switched now to Moonblast and Swift. So they don't have the Meteor Mash, which would be super effective against Dugong, right? The Steel against Ice. So that's a bonus for Dugong, because you don't have to worry about like the super effective move from Clefable anymore. Obviously Moonblast still does a lot, but I'm able to... I will just live a Moonblast here. Just barely. Oh, and they went to Swift. I was like, I'm gonna lose this. And then they gave up. They must have hardcore messed up or something. Lose this one. Ferrothorn. I'm like, oh, what do I even do here? This is where the like Fire Punch would be what I want here. Because I was like, what do I switch into? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to shield the first Power Whip because I know it's effective, but Diggersby is a tank. Holy, it does over half health. I was like, what? Okay, now what do I do? I get the attack drop, and I don't think the shield did that. Let this go. Now I'm like, okay, now I just lost a move because I let that go. So bring in Superior. They have Drapion. And I'm like, man, oh man, like I'm just reeling here. What am I gonna do? I'm like, well, I'll let this move go through. It's a crunch, almost half health. So it's like, okay, now I'm even more screwed. Go for Drill Run here. Takes them out. So now, but they're saving their shields, right? So now they got 2 shields still. And they've got Ferrothorn. Vine Whip's gonna, or yeah, his power whip is going to take me out, so I have to shield. Go for Icy Wind, which is not going to be effective against the steel typing. Should be pretty neutral. They shield that up. Bring Superior back in. In the back, they've got a Sandslash. So again, 2 Pokemon that would have been super weak to fire, right? So that, but again, I'm going to trade the beam for the fire 9 out of 10 times because it's a lot of fun. You catch a lot of people off guard. And how many games did the beam save me and save that game compared to Fire Punch? So, but that brings us pretty much to the end of the video. If you are still watching, I very much appreciate you. Thank you for your support. Leave a like and a comment, subscribe, stuff like that. Going to continue making videos here. Not sure, I'm working on a new team, playing this one out a little bit, but I do have a couple others pre-made already, not made, battles from before that I'll sift through and make a couple or a video or two on those, see where I'm at. Keep battling out there, good luck, and I'll see you guys in one of the next videos coming up. Have a good one.